the Chinese, the old ancient Chinese believe, they say that the only thing that you could depend on is change. Now, numbers correlate to astrology, and I use Kabbalistic numerology, which is old Israel metaphysical system, which the Israelites and the early Arabians and etc. used, and I use the Kai-Shi, which is an Oriental system that the Chinese developed that's several thousand years old for discerning what's going to happen to somebody. And I use the abracadabra, which is a system of charts found in early pyramids, which numerize people's names and birthdays. And through this method, the early Egyptians and Mayan cultures made pinpoint predictions as to what would happen in the world or in somebody's life. And the magicians, unfortunately, borrowed this word because it sounded mysterious and esoteric, and the magicians then would use it like abracadabra. This is going to disappear. But actually, these words actually describe charts found in pyramids that were a way of determining what numerological values in accordance with what usually would be planets. And instead of doing long astrological charts with wheels and calculations and evaluations, it was a shortcut system for hours of chart making and subsequent evaluation of such charts. One time when I was at a psychic fair in Albany, I met a Hindu astrologer, and I gave my name and my birthday, and he spent about 20 or 25 minutes on a calculator, and after it was all done, he said to me that you're in a period of a fluctuating money cycle. In fact, he said you're in the dragon's tail, and he said money would be going up and down, and he said in 6 months you'll be in the dragon's mouth, and he said at that point all your friends will turn to enemies. Now, what he basically told me was very accurate and very, in my opinion, very precise. But then again, I understand concepts. I understand the ideas behind things, which is the root of everything. And if you understand that, then you'll understand, the basis of predictions. But I felt what he did took too long to get too little, and I started working with these different systems, which I previously described, in order to do like a shortcut astrology. So it's like doing shorthand instead of longhand writing. And I was in a position where I would be booked all day long with people in 15-minute increments, and I had to give them something. I couldn't just sit there doing a lot of long calculations in order to come up with something. Now, my specialty is event predictive analysis. In other words, I try to predict that somebody will go someplace or do something or see someone or some situation would come up before it even happens or before it's even a twinkling as far as most people are concerned. And I believe that being forewarned is being forearmed and prepared to deal with things emotionally. And some people are like an ostrich. They prefer to hide their head in the ground. And they feel that they're safe in not knowing something. And actually, they don't realize how exposed they really are. Now, a lot of people say stay away from the occult, and they don't really know what the occult is. The occult to them is goblins or witches or evil spirits, but according to the dictionary, the word occult means secret or hidden knowledge, and that which is not easily understood. Now, is there something that we're not supposed to know? If we had such an attitude, people would say, as you people did years ago, that if man was meant to fly, he would have wings. So I guess we're not supposed to fly and have any knowledge then. Now, years ago in England, the king and the church were together, and the king would consult astrologers and mystics, and they would tell most people that they shouldn't deal with such things, the occult or whatever, because they felt that most people could not handle it or understand it, the average person. And, the things that they felt that the things were too difficult and that most people, it would not easily be understood. And yet they themselves consulted such people. And they knew that things were not as they were as they appeared, and that things seemed to be a different way than they were, and they were looking themselves for insight. Even the three kings that appeared before Christ were people that followed the stars, and they were basically astrologers. And these cycles, one person once asked me, gee, if you make these predictions on cycles and I don't believe in it, what then? And I said, well, it would still happen. So the fact whether you believe in it or you don't believe in it is not even a factor. And the cycles would say to somebody, ready or not, here I come. So these cycles are to really make somebody aware, but they must be patient. It's not a matter of instant gratification. Once these, like I said, you'll see a change come by, and usually it comes by at the end of the month, about within the last 10 days of a month, and then for the next 3-4 weeks, somebody's dealing with those changes, and it seems like nothing's happening, but they are. They're coasting towards another change, which is going to either augment it or change that change. And then there's always the subject matter, which is the main event. And there's the possibilities, which mean it's things that could affect you, which are less important, or they may affect people around you as well as yourself. So if I give you names of people, it means that these are people you'll meet, hear from, deal with, or be around. And a lot of them may not come up right away. So whenever you get this type of a reading, you need patience, understanding, and awareness. It's not a tool of instant gratification. It's knowledge. And if you understand knowledge and you use it, you understand that everything's in the process of changing, and everything is important. It was once said that the smallest little flower on Earth affects the furthest star, and the furthest star affects the smallest little flower. So I would say to you now that these are the words of Alan.